back to Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Got a really exciting video for you guys today. So, John Wick Chapter 4 has been out for quite some time now, and it's been doing very, very well critically and financially, of course. I've already seen the film, and I won't give anything away, but I will say that I thought it was great. I highly enjoyed it, even loved it, actually. So yeah, the movie was awesome, but something I noticed about this movie and about a very particular cast member, something really special is going on. That particular cast member, of course, is Scott Adkins, who played the super popular character right now, Kaleb, in John Wick Chapter 4. Yeah, so something I noticed about him is that he has gotten, he's getting pretty popular, and rightfully so, because he definitely deserves it. He is an incredible martial artist, a very good actor, and so I wanted to do something today to kind of help everybody who may not be that familiar with Scott Adkins. I have been a fan of his since, 2009, I believe. I think that was the first time I saw him, I've watched his movies for years and years, and so I wanted to do this because, again, I thought people who may not quite know who he is, or may want to know more about him, I wanted to do this for you guys today. So today we've got 5 essential Scott Adkins films. This list was not too hard for me to make, but I was struggling with a couple of different spots on the list. But I think I got a pretty solid list. I think this is a good starting point for anyone out there who may not know Scott or may just want to know more about him. So yeah, before I get to the official list, I want to throw an honorable mention out there, and I'm throwing this out there because it was the very first film I ever saw of Scott Adkins, all the way back in, again, I believe 2009, a little movie called Ninja. He did a sequel to that film, which I will get to in a little bit. But yeah, I wanted to throw Ninja as an honorable mention on here. It's not a perfect movie. There are a couple of things about it that I don't really care for. However, Scott was not one of the problems with that movie. He did a very good job. His martial arts skills in that movie were great, and they're definitely on really big display in that movie. This was pretty early on in his career, so his acting was not quite at the level, in my opinion, of course, it was not quite at the level that it is now. But yeah, I wanted to throw Ninja out there. So starting with the official list, our very first essential Scott Adkins film is, I have a list right here, just so I don't forget anything. But yeah, our very first essential film is Undisputed 3: Redemption. This movie is awesome. It is the 3rd installment in the Undisputed film series, and the very first one started with Ving Rhames and Wesley Snipes. Second one introduced Michael Jai White taking over Ving Rhames' character, and then Scott Adkins played the villain, Yuri Boyka, who is one of Scott's most popular characters. In the 3rd film, however, Michael Jai White didn't return, and Scott Adkins took over the lead role and continued to play Yuri Boyka. And I go with Undisputed 3 as an essential one because there are 4 films in the series, but I go with 3. One reason because I haven't seen the 4th movie yet, but I also believe 3 is a great showcase of Scott's martial arts ability, and you get a tournament setting, which I'm a sucker for, and then you get all these different styles, and there's a lot of really good comedy. It's a very fun movie, so yeah, Undisputed 3 is definitely one to check out. Up next, we have I love this movie, and it's from 2015. It is called Close Range. This movie is really, really good. It's a lot of fun. It's really just, I don't remember how long the movie is. I want to say it's about maybe 87 or 89 minutes. It's pretty quick, but it's, again, an excellent showcase of Scott's fighting abilities. It's got some really awesome fight sequences, and Scott's performance is also very good. Everybody else in the movie, it's not, they're fine, but also I don't think quite up to the same level of acting as Scott. I think he's definitely the best performer in this, but that doesn't necessarily matter because everyone is competent enough, and we're really there to see the action. There are a couple of things that happen that are kind of outlandish. It's like how you watch it, it's like, how is that even possible? But other than that, yeah, it's a very fun movie. Scott plays a guy who was a military soldier, but then he becomes an outlaw basically because he gets roped up in trying to save his niece from from these drug lords. Dirty cops get involved, and it just leads to like one big action sequence. Basically, I like how contained the movie is, and there's some really good shootouts as well. So yeah, I definitely recommend Close Range. That's definitely one of Scott's more fun movies. Up next, we have the sequel that I was talking about a little bit earlier, the sequel to 2009's Ninja, that is 2013's Ninja 2, Shadow of a Tear. Yeah, this was the sequel, once again, to the 2009 Ninja film. Scott returns in this film, and then we have a new villain in Kane Kasugi, who is awesome. Kane and Scott have an awesome final fight sequence, and I like this movie. It was a massive improvement over the first one, if you ask me, because it was they made it really simple and just turn it into a pretty simple revenge story. But also, there's a pretty surprising twist at the end, and again, just really amazing fight sequences. And Scott's acting at that point had gotten a lot better. Like I said, with the 2009 Ninja movie, he was a little, in my opinion, a little wooden. I don't want to like sound too harsh or anything. He was a little wooden though in the 2009 Ninja movie. In Shadow of a Tear, he improved dramatically as far as his acting goes, and the fight scenes were also a lot better. The fight scenes in the 2009 movie were good, but I think they were lacking in some areas. Ninja 2 though definitely made up for that. It definitely redeemed those qualities. So yeah, Ninja 2 Shadow of Tear is great. Up next, probably Scott's best movie, if it wasn't for my last one, but I say this is probably this. You could argue that this is his best movie, strictly because it is just pure entertainment and pure action, and that is Accident Man. It's an adaptation of a comic book. I'm not familiar with the comic book, but I can say here that it is the story of Accident Man. He's an assassin who is able to make all of his kills look like they were just accidents. So yeah, the movie though, Accident Man, is really good. It's pure entertainment. It's got some really good fight sequences. They're also very versatile. There's like your typical one-on-one fights, and then there's like really crazy brawls. There's a bar fight, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a while since I saw the movie. But there's like really crazy brawls. There's a sword fight scene at the end, which is really good. There is also a sequel to Accident Man called Hitman's Holiday. I haven't seen that yet. Again, I need to get caught up a little bit, but yeah, Accident Man, if you want a movie that's like strictly entertainment and also seeing Scott in one of his best performances, Accident Man is the one for you. And of course, my very last Essential Scott Adkins film. This is my favorite movie of his, like hands down, my favorite movie, and I think it's his best movie, bar none, and that is Avengement. I watched this movie last night, and I've seen it a couple of times in the past, but this movie is just insane. It's Scott's best acting performance. Like his acting chops are on incredible display in this movie, and it's also kind of an against type for him. I say that when I say against type, I am referring mainly to the action. Scott is known for doing a lot of like really like a lot of really elaborate acrobatic moves and stuff like that. Avengement is not quite like that. He does a couple of like acrobatics, a couple of like kind of crazy moves, but it's mostly kind of like a brawling movie. A lot of the characters and a lot of the fight scenes are kind of just fighting very wildly, and I like that. I like how they changed the approach a little bit with the fights in that one. And again, Scott's acting is just incredible in that. It's a very emotional movie in many ways, and it's just incredibly violent. And I know a lot of people like violence. Sometimes it's like some people don't. A lot of people do though. So, but if you're into movies that you kind of want to see like a little bit of violence, a little bit of blood, this is definitely the one for you. And it's got an insane bar fight at the end. Like it's it goes on for quite a few minutes. I don't really remember, maybe about 5 or 6 minutes, but it's that's kind of long for a fight scene, and it's yeah, it's just a really wild one. And again, I can't stress enough, Scott's acting is amazing in that movie. That's probably his best acting performance aside from John Wick 4. But yeah, those are my 5 essential Scott Adkins films. Again, I highly recommend you check all these out. And there are a couple other movies that I didn't mention on here, like Dead Collector, Dead Collector 2, Castle Falls. They're just some really awesome movies. I may dive deeper into movies like that if I do another essential Scott Adkins film list, because he's got a bunch of them and a bunch of really great ones. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. There's a link tree in the description so you guys can follow me on social media, and also check out my podcast, also called Kaleb's Kung Fu Cinema. Episode 63 of the podcast airs this Saturday, April 15th. We're talking about Master of the Flying Guillotine, one of my favorite movies. So yeah, thank you once again for watching, and drop in the comments if you like my list or if you don't agree with it, or if you're indifferent. Either way, it's totally fine. We all have our own opinions. And also let me know what your favorite Scott Adkins films are. There may be a movie that you guys picked that I haven't seen, because again, there are some of Scott's films that I haven't seen before. So yeah, again, I'd love to hear from you guys, so drop it in the comments. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.